Hello friends, welcome back to our channel IT India. In this video, we are going to discuss about AWS Solution Architect certification preparation. And as I have already told you that 90% of the questions will be from this series only, and you have to trust this series. So let's start this video with our first question of this video, and that is going to be question number 31st of this series. A company currently operates a web application backed by an Amazon RDS MySQL database. It has automated backups that are run daily and are not encrypted. A security audit requires future backups to be encrypted and the unencrypted backups to be destroyed. The company will make at least one encrypted backup before destroying the old backups. What should be done to enable encryption for future backups? And here are your options. So correct answer here will be option C. Create a snapshot of the database, copy it to an encrypted snapshot, restore the database from the encrypted snapshot. Because you can only encrypt an Amazon RDS DB instance when you create it and not after the DB instance is created. So here option C will be correct. And now question number 32. A company is hosting a website behind multiple application load balancer. The company has different distribution rights for its content around the world. A solution architect needs to ensure that users are served correct content without violating distribution rights. Which configuration should the solution architect choose to meet these requirements? So here are your options. And correct answer here will be option C. Configure Amazon Route 53 with a geolocation policy. And why here option C? Because here question says that website is running behind multiple application load balancer. So geolocation routing lets you choose the resources that serve your traffic based on geographic locations of the user, meaning the location from which the DNS queries originate from. For example, you might want all the queries from Europe to be routed to an ELB load balancer in the Frankfurt region. When you use the geolocation routing, you can localize your content and present some or all of your website in the language of your local users. So this is the benefit of geolocation policy. And now question number 33rd. A solution architect has created a new AWS account and must secure AWS account root users access. Which combination of actions will accomplish this? Choose two. So here we have to choose two answers and here are our options. So basically correct answer here would be option A and option B. Ensure that the root user has a strong password. Definitely this is going to be correct because a root user should have the strong password because root user can do anything in your environment. And now enable multiple factor authentication to the root user. So basically what will this multiple factor authentication basically MFA will do? If you are using MFA, you may configure your physical device, for example your mobile phone. Whenever you log into your root user or your account as root user, even though you know the password, but still you need the authentication from your physical device, that is mobile phone. So even if your password is leaked, even then no one will be able to access your account being root user. So option A and option B are correct here. And now question 34th. A solution architect at an e-commerce company wants to back up application log data to Amazon S3. The solution architect is unsure how frequently the logs will be accessed or which log will be accessed the most. The company wants to keep the cost as low as possible by using the appropriate S3 storage class. Which S3 storage class should be implemented to meet these requirements? So here are your options, and this is very basically I can say very obvious question and with very obvious answer. So answer here will be S3 intelligent tiering. So why this is the correct answer? So basically here keyword is unknown workload, because the solution architect is unsure of how frequently the logs will be accessed. So unknown workload is the keyword here. And when you are not sure about the pattern that will be followed and how the content from that particular Amazon S3 will be used or how it will be accessed, then S3 intelligent tiering is the best option always. So option B will be the correct answer here. And now question 35th. A company's website is used to sell product to the public. The site run on Amazon EC2 instances in an auto-scaling group behind an application load balancer. There is also an Amazon CloudFront distribution, and AWS Web is being used to protect against SQL injection attacks. The ALB is the origin for the CloudFront distribution. A recent review of the security logs revealed an external malicious IP that need to be blocked from accessing the website. What should a solution architect do to protect the application? So here are the options, and here correct answer will be option B, modify the configuration of AWS WAF to add an IP match condition to block the malicious IP address. And now question number 36. A solution architect is designing an application for two-step order process. The first step is synchronous and must return to the user with little latency. Basically, latency is allowed, but it should be very little. The second steps take longer, so it will be implemented in separate component. Order must be processed exactly once in the order in which they are received. How should the solution architect integrate these components? So here are your options, and basically here is the clue. Exactly once and in the order. So for this, FIFO should be used. So FIFO should be used for this, first in first out. So FIFO is in this option and it is in this option, and it is standard, so it should not be considered, and it is standard, so it should also not be considered. And now here correct answer is option A. And why? Because Amazon SQS with FIFO is not compatible with SNS topic as of now. So option A will be correct here. I have mistaken here. Option A will be correct here only. Now question number 37. A web application is deployed in the AWS cloud. It consists of two-tier architecture that includes a web layer and a database layer. The web server is vulnerable to cross-site scripting attacks. What should the solution architect do to remediate the vulnerability? And here are the options. And correct option here will be option C. Create an application load balancer, put the web layer behind the application load balancer, and enable AWS WAF. So why it is the correct answer here? So basically for cross-site scripting attack, AWS WAF is the solution. But AWS WAF is available in these three options. Why we are choosing this one particularly? So here logic will be web layer, and web layer runs on layer 7. So web layer runs on layer 7 of OSI model, and application load balancer is used for layer 7. So application load balancer will be used, and along with AWS WAF. So this is the correct answer here. However, application load balancer is here as well, but here they are using AWS Shield standard, but AWS WAF should be used. So correct answer here will be C only. And now question number 38. A company's website is using an Amazon RDS MySQL multi-AZ DB instance for its transactional data storage. There are other internal systems that query this DB instance to fetch data for internal batch processing. The RDS DB instance slows down significantly when the internal system fetch data. This impacts the website's read and write performance, and the user experiences slow response times. Which solution will improve the website's performance? And here are the options. And I hope you must have got the correct answer as of now, because correct answer here will be option D. And I have already told you that whenever there is a requirement of website performance, you may not neglect the read replica, because in most of the question it is going to be the correct answer. So here also it is the correct answer. Add a read replica to the RDS DB instance and configure the internal system to query the read replica. And now question number 39. An application run on Amazon EC2 instance across multiple availability zones. The instance is run in Amazon EC2 auto-scaling group behind an application load balancer. The application performs best when the CPU utilization of the EC2 instance is at or near 40%. What should a solution architect do to maintain the desired performance across all the instances in the group? So here are your options. So basically simple scaling policy, target is tracking policy, AWS Lambda function, and scheduled scaling actions. So these are the options. However, we are using auto scaling group in all the options, but here correct answer will be option B. Use the target tracking policy to dynamically scale out the auto scaling group, because particular CPU utilization is given. So we have to use target tracking policy whenever any particular number of CPU utilization is given, like it may be 30% or it may be 70%. According to this utilization, resources will dynamically scale out the auto scaling group. So target tracking policy is used in any question, whatever may be the condition. If particular number of CPU utilization is given, that instances should be near around this particular number. So option B is the correct answer here. And now question number 40. A company runs an internal browser-based application. The application runs on Amazon EC2 instances behind an application load balancer. The instances run in an Amazon EC2 auto-scaling group across multiple availability zones. The auto-scaling group scales up to 20 instances during work hours but scale down to 2 instances overnight. Staff are complaining that application is very slow when the day begins, although it runs well by the mid-morning. How should the scaling be changed to address the staff complaints and keep the cost to a minimum? And here are the options. So basically, most probably you would go for scheduled action because you want the capacity to increase before the particular time. But here correct answer will be option C. Implement a target tracking action triggered at a lower CPU threshold and decrease the cooldown period. So basically what is happening here? Keyword here is cost. You have to keep the cost as low as possible, because if you spin up 20 EC2 instances at the beginning of the day unnecessarily, the cost increases. So due to that reason, this option is rolled out here. And if you use this option, target tracking action, so that will be helpful because user will not complain, as CPU will be monitored and machines will be spinned up quickly on the basis of requirement and on the basis of usage. So option C is the correct answer here. So friends, thanks for watching this video and have a great learning. Please do subscribe this channel IT India.